When you see something from seed to fruition, it's magic. Here's your Aloncia. Amsonia.
And I don't know which one.
Amsonia montana, Stella Azure.
Now you've got another one over there.
Yes.
But I don't think they're the same.
They're not the same, no, exactly. But I took a piece off the other one and it's doing very nicely there.
Good.
Yeah. So this is this rose here, which the deer have not eaten, is called roll. It's a David Austin roll dowel.
Oh.
And it's a really. I know you love roses. She hates roses.
No, I don't like them.
Angelica, and what a mess it's making, isn't it?
Do you know, it's the one herb I can remember as a child that I thought was the most disgusting thing I'd ever tasted.
Yes, but it's quite dramatic in a border.
Oh,
and
wow.
of course self seeds all over the shop. And then what did I see here? Oh, the flocks have been eaten by the deer last night. They had that for second course. And more roses eaten, more alstroemeria eaten last night.
And how many? Is it just one?
No, there's about 7 of them.
God.
Absolute brats. Now here's the thing that you gave me, and I've forgotten its name. Can you remember?
Carambe.
Say it again.
Carambe. C-R-A-M-B-E.
C-R-A-M-B-E.
It's pretty amazing,
isn't it lovely? It's the first year it's done that.
So good.
It's been in for about 3 or 4 years now. And presumably all these would be terrific for flowering.
Oh, I would think so.
Wouldn't you think? I think it's magic. And really grows quite easily. There's nothing much to it. The 2 seconds. Do you want to go up into the woods, or what do you think? Because we go up to the border in the woodland, which is always interesting.
Oh, yeah.
All the epimediums and things.
Which I actually did know and then forgot. But epimedium, now this will interest you, it's the same family as the Bobrus.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
No.
Oh, that was something new. Yes. Gosh, I'm so cross. Look at the roses again, eaten last night.
I think those salvias are the most stunning colour.
Aren't they nice? Yes. That's the first cousin to hot lips. I'm not sure what it's called.
Grey guy?
It's red. I think instead of
Are
calling
you
it.
into salvias?
I love salvia.
Yeah.
That I think is stunning.
Yes.
You know, I live, of course, in America. In California, we have hummingbirds, and they love the salvias.
Really?
Yeah. Salvias in and out.
That's Samsonia again.
Yes, and it's a slightly darker one, is it? Very slightly. Pretty. It might even be the soil. But I think it's a charming plant, isn't it?
I think it's lovely.
Yeah. More the deer damage last night was something serious. Here is a lovely fax domino. What?
Rose?
No.
I'm not good on my herbaceous, I'm afraid.
It's lovely. It's got a really dark red flower. Everything's been chewed, isn't that so annoying? Now let's go to the woodland where maybe they haven't been chewing. And of course the Siberian iris looks lovely over there, doesn't it, with the blue, and the white arbutelon. It's lovely. And then the crinodendron, which is with the red ding-dongs.
Lanterns.
Red lantern.
Ding-dongs.
Yes. Ding. So things don't have to be perfect to be enjoyable. You can have straight lines everywhere, or you can have all of the plants you're seeing in the garden ourselves. That, I think, makes it, when you see something from seed to fruition. It's magic. Or because I wanted to have a sort of woodland bed, effectively, with smallies in it, and so you see, Adam, we put in a lot of red astilbes here, which will be quite nice in time. And I think since you were here, Anne, I got these painted ferns, which I love. We had them before, but
You had
lost
them
them.
down.
Yeah, down by the river, but went. And then this little rhododendron, so sweet. And the giant forget-me-not, which is called
Marcetidium.
Marcetidium.
Chatham Forget-Me-Not. Chatham Island Forget-Me-Not. You probably know it.
Oh,
It's got a really good blue flower.
well, there's the blue flower, been slightly nibbled by something, and the one up there had a pink flower, but
which I meant to photograph and meant to put up on Facebook, but I never do.
But anyhow, that one has been nibbled last night too. Obviously, everybody's very hungry here at the moment in the way of wildlife.
And this, first cousin to a berberis. Unlikely, isn't it?
Extraordinary. I wonder how they work that out. And this, Kelly, is Anne's one of her favourite plants.
Aracerum proprosidium,
Yes,
known as
little mouse.
mouse's tail.
Mouse's tail. Well, now the mouse's tail is over, but it was there a month ago. So that's
Do you
the
know
end.
Aracerum?
No. And this
Corridalis.
Corridalis is a lovely blue, isn't it? I had to put the wire around it yesterday because the rabbits were having lunch. Oh yes, Anne, can you please put a name on this, which I tried to kill inadvertently by putting seaweed under it because everything else seemed to like seaweed and it doesn't.
I can't.
It had a most gorgeous little flower, which is now over. There's a seed of it. And this I got from Botanical Gardens, Kilmacurra.
Veratrum.
Veratrum is rather than very, yeah. It's rather nice, and it's got a little. It came with a little second gift, which is obviously another sort of rhododendron. Do you think? See it there?
No, I don't.
Is it not?
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
No.
Oh dear. Oh, and we miss Spotty Dotty over here. Well, I love Spotty Dotty. And Spotty Dotty is flowering at the moment, look.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes.
See?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? It is, I think, lovely. Oh, dog, don't walk on it. Go away. But isn't that a great flower?
Wow.
Get out of it. Go on, skid.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah. There's another one there. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely?
Is that photographing or?
Yeah, that's yeah. But so that's looking very happy there, I think. And this one, you see, got eaten last night. Bloody dear.
Well, I hope they're now having tummy aches. I'm feeling really rather sick.
These astilbes, I think, are great.
So what kind of tree is that?
It's an oak. It's called a turkey oak, which at the next house down the river on the right-hand side is a place called Camphia. They gave us the baby seedling of it, and they have the Irish champion of same tree. It's got a beautiful bark, so it will end up, as I said, in a couple of centuries' time being an enormous tree, much bigger than that sweet chestnut beside it. Is this, which will flower in about September with a gorgeous little white flower. And if you look, I've planted it just as you come up the path there. I think it'll look stunning. Hopefully, the loud American woman.
Oh, he did. He told me not to be offended.
Very loud note. I'd like to say American woman. Don't be offended, Kelly. And here, Nancy, her name is Nancy Evans.
Splendid.
Oh, did he? Good. I hope you weren't. Because you're not of that. But isn't it
Such a
lovely?
good yellow.
Yeah,
It
it's,
is.
you know, it really is. It's just, it's stunning. Stunning. And then the other thing, and look at the rhododendron, isn't that looking,
It
the
really
light hitting
is.
on it. It is, it looks like velvet actually,
Yep.
doesn't it? I must bring my camera down and have a go at it. It's lovely.
Dear boy.
And then, Kelly, you know this is the hydrangea,
Yes.
which is the most unusual.
That because
You did.
Nicholas said-
Told you.
Oh,
What? It's rather a special one.
yeah, it is.
It's very special. So down here, then we will have the Dromana 800, a nice flowering one.
I think
What is
these.
this?
Which?
Right in the middle of the
Oh, viburnum. It's now which viburnum it is? Oh, I'll tell you because it's marked. It's plicatum grandiflora. How smart is that? But it's a great plant, and there's an enormous family of viburnums. Most of them don't have a scent, but there was one at Castle Grace that did, and we brought it here. And I don't think that's it. No, it's not. And then up here, Kelly, I don't know whether you can see it. There's a magnolia rostreva, rostreva, which
that the big leaf?
it's the big
Yeah.
leaf thing. Isn't that gorgeous? I just think it's structural. I love structure and texture.
Me too. Movement.
Exactly. And then these camellias grow in this columnless,
There's only camellias that do it.
shape. It's called Spring Festival.
We've got a pair.
And there's a pair, and we made them from cuttings. They were just a leaf. They started out, not only 7 years ago. They've been quite quick. And I've actually now put an arc of or a half moon of them down at the bastion.
Oh, what
so
a good
they'll look
idea.
lovely because the structure is what counts there. And this, of course, Kelly, most importantly, is what's called an Irish yew. So it's a tree that its progeny came
Out of a
from
churchyard.
what? No, you don't know the story. No, it came from one tree in Northern Ireland. So all the Irish yews go back to that one tree. And I can't remember the name of the state that where it came from. Florence Court. She knew it all along. She just pretended she didn't. So they're, as you say, they're graveyard trees. I think they're lovely. It's the structure. And that one we had to chop right down, and it's repurposed. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. They're quite hard to propagate. We have done some. I planted a line of them on the way down to the bastion. I think they'll look lovely in 70 years' time, when I will still be here.
Falling out of a cherry tree.
Exactly. The common broom is a nice plant too, isn't it, behind you? I want to just take Kelly over to the Dromana rhodie here. But it's actually going over now too, so they all have their minute, and this minute has passed. But it's a lovely.
It's
Lovely.
a nice flower, but somehow the foliage is.
The foliage is a little disappointing. It's good when you've got this lovely extension, new
Yeah.
extension there, but they can look quite yellow, can't they, if they're anyway unbalanced.
And so this is the Dromana.
This is a Dromana. It's called Dromana 800, registered with the Royal Horticultural Society by Seamus O'Brien, who's the curator of Kilmacurra Botanical Garden, the Irish Botanical Gardens, and he very kindly did the registration for us.
It's beautiful.
And it really is. We're
How
extremely.
long do the blooms last on these?
Not that
Depends a
long.
lot on the weather, doesn't it? Because if the weather's warm, they disappear quite quickly, and if it's cold, you could get 2 weeks out of them. But it's one of the later of the flowering ones, which means that it misses the frosts, which is a huge plus. And it also is only a medium-sized shrub, which makes it also interesting for the smaller garden. I'm really, Anne shows it. She went to Mount Congreve and Michael White offered her anything of all his different matings, and this is what she chose, and didn't she choose well? Anne's brother-in-law bred, and it's called Llewellyn Surprise. Llewellyn is the name of Anne's family home in Cornwall. Yes, yes. And Anne's grandfather, will you explain, please tell about your grandfather?
My grandfather was one of a fairly select group of men in England who sponsored or profited by the explorers who were going out to China to collect seed. And he knew people in Cornwall who had financed these expeditions and benefited in being given seed, grew seed, made hybrids with them, and I never knew him. He died in about 1941, but a lot of his hybrids are still around.
And even at Mount Congreve, there would be some of his hybrids, aren't there?
Yep.
Yep. So I think we'll have to go to the lower path to see Wallamy.
The red.
Yes, it's nice. But actually, the tree behind you, which doesn't look much, but it's an Irish oak, and it would have been planted probably in about late 1700. So when you think of that, think of its age now. A lot of those oak trees will regenerate themselves. They drop branches and then grow more. And he's been badly hit by the odd storm, but we reckon he is one of the very oldest trees in the place.
Nicholas hadn't pointed it out. I don't know that I would have noticed it the other day.
Oh, really? And did he tell you the story behind it?
Yes.
Yes. So now you're. Oh, there it is. Yes. Look at that. And of course, when you cut a briar, it thinks it's being pruned to grow faster. Another one. I mean, look at that.
Terrific.
Indecent.
Oh,
No.
wow.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's a first flower that's never flowered before. What I can't remember is who it is. I'll have to see if I can see a
Well, it
label.
should have a label on it.
It's certainly full of briars, God help it.
No name.
No name. But Nicholas will tell us because he'll remember, because he planted it. 3
Yeah.
Virginia
No,
Richards, so we now know. That's good.
Virginia Richards.
Rhododendron Virginia Richards. It's a massive flower.
Actually, it's nice.
Yep, no, I'm pleased with it. That's lovely. When you think of that, that'll grow to be a big plant. It'll look nice.
How many plants are there? 3.
3. Yep.
Great thing about rhododendrons, they're very shallow rooted. So you put 3 together, you can remove 1, 2,
In the middle. And take it
and-
somewhere else.
take it somewhere else.
Some of the biggest rhododendrons here in the garden, Nicholas and I moved from Castle Grace. In fact, if you look at this one behind you, Kelly, see the big leafed rhododendron there, eximium type, behind the pink flower?
Yes.
That big leaf rhododendron there, that we would have moved from Castle Grace, Nicholas's family home, as a mature plant. And it was because their roots literally, when you plant a rhododendron, you literally plant them on the top of the soil. You don't dig them in. If you dig them in, they die. They hate it. They like to live absolutely on the top, which if there's a bad drought can be disastrous. But most of them are pretty resilient, aren't they?
There they are.
What trees do you have?
Oh my heavens. I haven't got a clue. I know we've got, 38 different varieties of camellias. I have no idea how many rhododendrons. We'll have to do an inventory actually. But as for trees, no, not a clue. But many, many, many more than one realizes just going around. It just, it's probably time to, in my old age, when I'm no longer physically able to do things, I shall start writing down what we've got.
Now, does your
Jordan, and then azalea.
what a beautiful combination.
Isn't it a good combination?
Oh.
I'm very much passionate about planting and
stunning.
Nicholas. I
Isn't
love
it?
that combination.
Absolutely
Yeah,
stunning.
and the way the light is coming down through the leaves, it really to me is just magic. And I must take out that yew behind because it's crowding.
I think all of Dromana is magic.
No, well that's too kind. But this, I can never say it properly. Choisier, is that the correct pronunciation, Anne?
Choicia.
Choisia was when King Charles
Mock
was a
orange
prince.
blossom.
Mock orange blossom, which has a lovely smell, and when our present King Charles III was prince, it was his favourite plant.
Really?
It was. He told me personally. Ha ha ha. And the hydrangeas have started already, which is extraordinary. Yeah,
I filmed a bunch of those today because
Yeah.
they're just opening up.
yeah, amazing.
Beautiful.
And I think we always pay little attention to this, which the fuchsia is a lovely plant. You know, there are these ones which, as kids, we used to suck the nectar. And then you have the hybrid ones, which have got enormous flowers, which I don't think you'd like, Anne, would you?
Not really.
No.
Something similar called honeysuckle.
Yes, yes,
wild,
yes, yes,
that
yes.
we would
It's
do the same
lovely.
thing.
Yes, yes.
It's a sweet middle.
Yes, yes, yes. It's got a label. Oh, lemon 45. Lemons 45.
Okay.
Nicholas used to rave about it. I'm not sure I like it. I mean, I'm not. It's sort of pink and white, isn't it? Again, those sort of very sort of light colours like that look much nicer in a dark position where if you're out in the bright light, they get sort of lost, don't they? But in a dark position, they sort of hang out better, I think. So one of those variegated camellias is going to start flowering now, which is a pinch late for it. See, down there?
I really,
Hate variegated.
yep.
I knew she was going to say that. I don't.
A lot of people do.
I do too, because they're not natural. They're
'Cause
false.
They're not true.
They're contrived, exactly.
It's
They revert
usually,
back eventually.
it's usually because they've got a virus. That's it.
Yes, but in fact now people are breeding them, and there are rhododendrons like that. This is a lovely plant which should not be overlooked. It's called Danielii. Look at its little flower. Isn't that absolutely exquisite? See?
And then
And then
produces,
a
I think,
blueberry.
blueberries.
And I've planted a waterfall of them here,
Oh, good for you.
which I think over time will look stunning. That is a lovely flower. Look at that. Isn't that magic? Do you like it?
I do.
Yeah. And the blueberry, Kelly, in the autumn is lovely when everything is pretty much over. And my plan is that in between the other things that got in the way, it'll be a waterfall of blueberries.
I was fortunate to be able to visit I think it was May. When I
Yes,
was here last,
yes,
And then came for Thanksgiving week
yes.
and see the two different
Yeah, seasons. Yeah.
garden.
And no, here's a typical example, another common fern, but isn't it
lovely.
gorgeous?
Yep,
Look at it, unfurling here. I just think they're magic. We planted a fernery, which you've never got to yet, Kelly. It's down behind the rock house, and we planted it about 7 years ago, about 15, 20 tree ferns, some enormous woodwardies, and all sorts of really interesting things that.
Love ferns.
Yeah, in time we're going to make a path down there, and people will be able to visit. And there's a stream in the middle of it. It's just lovely.
And there's something about ferns and hosta combination.
Yeah, yes. Hostas that haven't been eaten by slugs. I saw last night somebody had got an enormous saucer of beer and put it beside their hostas, and the slugs had all got totally sloshed, and the hostas look grand. Oh, down here, Kelly, is not showing now, but it's a magnolia, bred by Anne's brother-in-law and named, presumably with the Royal Horticultural Society, Felicity, which is her sister's name.
Oh, I don't think it's registered with.
Oh, is it not
anybody.
registered?
I think that-
Barbarossa. So it has these razims, or you call them, hanging down here. They are a lovely creamy colour in a couple of months' time, and I think it's a lovely leaf and
Oh, it's a nice
yeah,
plant.
it's a nice plant. And this, Kelly, is a sweet chestnut tree, and of course we take chestnuts from it in the autumn, and for which we have our chestnut stuffing at Christmas time. Seamus O'Brien is very keen on this tree. It's one of those, what Nicholas calls one of those green things. Pitavia or Batavia.
No, I'm just looking at this.
And this ad is a pittosporum, you know, called bicolour. And of course it has a little tiny flower, Kelly, which is absolutely doty. But
Nicholas really doesn't like it.
he does not like it. He does not like it, and I think it's
None
great.
of those bloody trees with green leaves.
Yeah, I think it's lovely.
The shape of it.
Yes, a nice shape, isn't it? And it's just inoffensive. I think it's a really nice tree.
Well, not innocent. Is this a eucalyptus?
That's a eucalyptus, exactly.
I have eucalyptus.
Yeah. The negative to eucalyptus is they're very thirsty and they steal all the water in the vicinity. So they're not good really anywhere where there are other plants trying to survive.
Well, they're not native to California. They were brought in
Yes,
probably by
yes,
the missionaries.
yes. Yeah, but I love the bark and the smell, and they're fantastic for flower arranging if you can get the
Actually,
leaves.
humans have taken them all over the world.
Yes, but I mean,
East
it's a
Africa never
spectacular
had them.
bark.
No, they're everywhere.
Yeah. No, I have a lot of time for them, but they just are too greedy. And these eucrypheras, of course, flowering in the autumn,
I can't believe how tall they've grown.
absolutely enormous. Is that 12 years old? Would you
When
say?
I was a child,
Yes.
somebody, and I don't know who, made commercially biscuits.
Yeah.
They were nasty little biscuits, but they had icing just like that
Oh,
on
really?
each one.
Yes.
And they always remind me of these horrible biscuits.
Oh, I think that is so
But
sweet.
the-
Look at it.
But little
Nature.
icing things,
Yeah,
just
like that.
each flower on each biscuit.
I remember how long it took to get that plant to go and grew. Yes, isn't it lovely?
It's very nice.
Yeah. I mean, I just think there's something magic about that. So then, Kelly, up there you can see the.
Can you see a tree?
Can you see a tree?
Well,
Wollamy pine.
that is the Wollamy pine, and it grows in a valley
Near
just
Sydney.
outside Sydney, in the Blue Mountains, and it was discovered about 30 years ago, and it was around when the dinosaurs were around.
It's the same sort of generation as the Araucaria, the monkey puzzles and so forth, isn't it?
Well, it's the same family-ish,
Yes.
but
And is male and female all in the one plant, isn't it?
I think so.
Um,
But it also was around when the metasequoias, and there's another one, and they all originate in China or survived in China.
sorry. Anyhow, it's a
Little
lovely tree, and it's multi-stemmed usually, but that one has grown exceptionally well there. When we planted it, we put a mycelium underneath it to help it grow, and it really has. It's It's quite a spectacle.
It's a wonderful tree.
Yeah, yeah. And you could see its little sort of coney type things hanging down. Can you see them? No, really, really, really
One
pleased
day
with
it's going to produce proper cones. It'll be lovely.
And then what you didn't finish the story was about 5 years ago, wasn't it? There was a fire in that valley that Anne was referring to a minute ago, and the Australians were feared of losing their whole and only crop of this tree that was discovered. And there was mass pandemonium, and they managed to put the fires out with a lot of effort. Otherwise, oh gosh, look, decorum is flowering there. Do you see that? Just underneath this cornice, whatever it is. Look at that. It's the first time I've seen it flower there. Just go up and have a look at the flowers if I can.
Going in.
And be scented. It's worth going in for. It's a nice thing.
It's good scent.
Should
I'll bring
be
a piece
scented.
out.
Very delicate scent.
Oh, I see it.
Can you smell it?
Very, very, very delicate.
Very delicate.
It's not. And then you've got the Chilean firebush beside us as well.
Which is wonderful.
Just there, isn't it nice? You must smell it, Kelly. It's lovely. Just very, very, very delicate. I think it's a lovely thing. It sort of seeds itself about the place, and just a nice form.
It's lovely. It really is.
Which is Malachy, who's in the he was the propagator at Mount Congreve, and he's now in Glanbia in Dungarvan, and I bet you he'd know which one it was. It was sold to me as Negro or Nigra, and which is not.
I wish there was a good book on conifers.
But there might be.
isn't.
Is there not?
No, not really.
Okay.
They're
They're identified, Kelly, I'm sure you know this, by how many, or one of them may identify, is by how many
bundles
needles.
of leaves you
Yeah.
because they with pines they're in bundles, and it's
this one
2,
is-
3, 5.
And this one has two. But it's got this cone that looks completely plastic. Unfortunately, they're too high up to get one. But when you get them down, when you get one down, and then you put it beside the cooker or whatever, they open out.
Up. Pop,
And-
pop, pop.
Yes, but the important thing is that when there's a forest fire, they're made naturally in such a way that the seeds pop out, and they survive. Which is magic.
Nature really is magic.
Incredible, yes. And this thing has put up so many cones this year because it's lost its top. And then also it's sort of completely leaning over. I don't think it's got a chance of survival, poor thing. I did quite a big cleaning up job here under these azaleas because these were original to before when they were planted. I think when Mum and Dad were originally here, and so they could be 80 years old, something like that, maybe at least. But of course they regenerate too, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. And their scent is just superb.
Nicholas and I were standing here this morning,
Yes.
and I pointed to that conifer,
Yeah.
and I said, "I remember you buying it."
Yeah.
You buying it.
Yeah, the Kilmacarra one.
Yep.
Yes.
And how excited you were.
Yes, I called it teddy bear. Do you remember? It came from the National Botanical Gardens well, actually, I don't know where I actually bought it, but it's named Kilmacarra, Cryptomeria Kilmacarra, isn't it? Yes, it hasn't really. It's grown a bit, but it's filled out. Lovely. I always think it'd be a nice
It's
place for
worth-
birds to nest.
Photographing because Most of the young growth is all what they call fasciated.
Look at that. Look.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? This thing, and it's quite soft to touch.
That's what they call fasciation,
Fasciation.
not fascination.
But both.
Yeah, fascinating fasciation. It's looking a bit sort of sickly at the minute because it'll, you know, you could see the new shoots coming out here. So I should really take away all the dead ones. Another little job. But yeah, it is nice.
That was courtesy of Francis.
I think it was, and I planted some more of it down the
good.
bastion. And no, but iconic. They think so. Oh, do you hear that, girls?
Oh, these two.
Yes. Okay, show Kelly. Sit.
Oh, you are.
Who's going to give me a biscuit? So well behaved yesterday, where I took them to another garden and they rolled in some fox poo. And the smell coming back in the car, and I had to sort of hand them to Nicholas and say, clean them. They think it's perfume.